Farmers slam Tinubu for encouraging rice, maize. Welcome back. If you are just tuning in, this is the Daily Dose on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, where we're bringing you stories making rounds in the national dailies for today, Tuesday, 29th day, and the 7th month, July 2025. We did go through the headlines earlier, and we're bringing you details of those headlines. And I start my reading from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, where President Tinubu gifts each Falcons player 100,000 dollars national honors and a house. It says the President of Nigeria yesterday bestowed national honors of Order of the Niger (OON) on the victorious Super Falcons, winners of the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations (WAFCON). He also announced allocation of three-bedroom apartment and cash prize of $100,000, approximately 150 million naira, to each of the players. This is in line with the Nigerian Governors. This is in line with the Nigerian Governors Forum (NGF) also announcing a cash donation of 10 million naira each to the victorious Super Falcons. Tinubu announced the package as he hosted the Super Falcons at the presidential villa in Abuja yesterday following the dramatic landmark victory on Saturday in the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations (WAFCON) final held in Rabat, Morocco. President also stated that 11-member technical team supporting the Super Falcons will receive $50,000, approximately 75.6 million naira each, in cash awards as a token of appreciation for their contribution. Welcoming the Super Falcons and technical crew, the president in his remarks said, and I quote, "Today you return home as champions of Africa. We could not be prouder, and it cannot be more historic. You made us very, very proud." End of quote. The president said some other things, but it's detailed not just in the Vanguard newspaper this morning, across all newspapers. Tinubu gift each Falcon players $100,000, national honors, a house. Nigeria crumbling under poverty, insecurity, elite failure. That's coming from Utomi. It says a politician or a political coalition known as the Big Tent yesterday warned that the country is collapsing under the weight of poverty, insecurity, institutional decay, and elite failure. Speaking on behalf of the coalition at the media briefing, convener of the Big Tent, Professor Pat Tutomi, described the situation as an existential crisis requiring urgent civic action and responsible leadership. Otomi said, and I quote, "We envision Nigeria as a beacon of African progress, leading a flock of nations towards prosperity, much like the Asian tigers. But to achieve this, we must confront hard truth. We must wake up to the sufferings around us." End of quote. He identified poverty as the most visible sign of leadership failure, noting that, and I quote again, 75% of rural Nigerians now live in chronic poverty, hunger, and that is ravaging the land. End of quote. Pat Tomi further said some other things, but it's all detailed in the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Nigeria crumbling under poverty, insecurity, elite failure, coming from Pat Tomi. Into politics, and I'm still with the Vanguard newspaper this morning, where former ANPP members give conditions to remain in APC. It says that the I beg your pardon, ahead of the 2027 general election, the former All Nigerian People's Party ANPP bloc and the ruling All Progressives Congress APC has given President Bola Tinubu conditions to meet or risk its exit from the party. The NPP bloc alleged marginalization by both the Congress for Progressive Change (CPC) bloc and the All Progressives Congress APC bloc and the tripartite engagement that formed the national government in 2015. The NPP bloc, which noted that the CPC bloc had ruled Nigeria for 8 years, with the APC currently in power, warned Tinubu against tampering with the vice presidential seat, insisting that the position remains sacrosanct for the ANPP bloc as the second largest contributor to the formation of APC. Speaking at the briefing in Abuja yesterday, members of the bloc, operating under the aegis of Association of former ANPP members, demanded inclusivity in the APC government. The aggrieved ANPP members, whose prepared text was read by the national coordinator, Professor Talis Jumbe, called on President Tinubu to ensure that the vice president seat is made sacrosanct for ANPP bloc in the governing APC for the 2027 presidential election. I'd say you should see details of this development from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Former ANPP members give conditions to remain in APC. Fayemi absent as Fayoshe orders endorse Tinubu Oyebanji. Now, let's see the details of that. This happened right here in Ekiti State yesterday. It says, as the preparation for the 2026 governorship election in Ekiti State gather momentum, residents and party faithfuls across the party line yesterday stormed Ekiti Kete Pavilion along New Eni Road in Ado Ekiti to endorse President Bola Tinubu and Governor Biodun Ibanji for a second term in office. As early as 10 a.m., the 14,000 capacity Ekiti Park Pavilion was already filled to capacity as artisans, civil servants, unions, and associations decked in blue sweatshirt emblazoned with a picture of Governor Oyebanji moved into the arena in Torrent. The event, which was witnessed by odds of People's Democratic Party (PDP) and All Progressives Congress (APC) members and leaders, was like a carnival. Notable leaders present included Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of Ondo State, Senate Leader Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, former Governor of the state Niyi Adebayo Fayoshe Shegoni, a former Deputy Governor Senator Biodun Lujimi, Chief Obafemi Adewale, serving and former National Assembly members, Chairman of the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) Prince Dayo Adeyeye, and Chairman of the Federal Housing Authority (FHA) rather, Mr. Oyetunji Ojo, among several others. However, a former governor of the state, Dr. Kaide Fayemi, was conspicuously absent at the event. And there were other developments as to the event. Why I endorsed Tinubu Oyebanji, and that's coming from Fayoshe. While he was speaking at the event, he says that he vowed not to join APC for any reason. He said he particularly decided to work for second-term victories of both Tinubu and Oyebanji because of their character and performance. He said, and I quote, to endorse publicly without reservation President Tinubu for a second term, that is the reason why we are here, and to endorse our governor, humility personified, Bayomi Oyebanji and his deputy for a second term, end of quote. There were other things that were said, and there were other developments that have trailed, or reactions that have trailed the event so far since yesterday. But grab a couple of the Vanguard newspapers and other newspapers this morning to see details of that. 22nd term, Fayemi absent as Fayoshe orders endorse Tinubu Oyebanji. Newspaper this morning, SDP disowns El-Rufai's membership. Now let's see what that means. It says former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has been denounced by the Social Democratic Party SDP as its member. The party accused El-Rufai of forcefully parading himself as its member when in actual fact he had not even registered in his ward. It also accused the former governor of forging, manipulation, and attempting to destabilize the party through deceptive political maneuvers. For his activities, the SDP slammed him with a 30-year ban from applying for its membership and involvement in any of its activities. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Arabi Ayegbusi, said in a statement yesterday that the decision was reached by the National Working Committee (NWC) after thorough investigation of the former governor's claim of membership in the SDP and his alleged backdoor political activities. El-Rufai announced his resignation from the ruling All Progressives Congress APC for SDP 4 months ago. He had told reporters that he was joining forces with politicians of like mind to form a coalition that would serve as a formidable platform to defeat President Bola Tinubu in 2027. But there were other developments that have trailed the movement of El-Rufai from the APC to the SDP, and latest of them is this denouncement. From the Nation newspaper, see details of the story. SDP disowns El-Rufai's membership. Umufere suspends 25 commissioners, 62 officials for snubbing state functions. Commissioners, senior special assistants, and permanent secretaries are among those suspended last night by Ebonyi State Governor Francis Umufere. The governor wielded the big stick against 87 officials for allegedly staying away from a function organized by the state government. In a statement last night signed by the Chief Press Secretary, Monday Uzo, the governor said they were suspended for failing to attend an important government function. The statement noted that the affected officials have also been asked to proceed on a 1-month working suspension without salary. Affected are 25 commissioners, 14 senior special assistants, 25 special assistants, and 22 permanent secretaries. According to the statement, the suspension takes immediate effect, and the suspended officials are barred from signing any official document during the period. The commissioners were further instructed to hand over to their respective permanent secretaries. The statement reads in quote, "The governor of Ebonyi State, Right Honorable Francis Umufere, has directed that the underlisted government functionaries proceed on a 1-month working suspension without salary for failure to attend an important government functions." On the list of the suspended officials, their names were mentioned here: Stanley Labachi, Professor Leonard Unguru, Dr. Matthew Nwobashi, and Professor Nwogo Obasi, among others. The statement emphasized that the governor remains firm in ensuring all government officials are held to the highest standard of conduct and dedication in service to the people. See details in the Nation newspaper and across all newspapers this morning. Umufere suspends 25 commissioners, 62 officials for snubbing state function. I'll not delay filling of vacant positions. Olubadan designates, Ladoja says, and I'm reading from the Daily Post this morning. It says the Olubadan designate Oba Rashidi Adewale Ladoja has declared that it will not delay the filling of any vacant position in the Olubadan chieftaincy line. Ladoja made the declaration while receiving the Ashikwa Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Abiodun Koladaisi, at his residence in Lagos. In a statement signed by his media aide, Adeola Oloko, Ladoja noted that he was not in Ibadan when the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Kinloye Owolabi Olakuleyin, joined his ancestor. The statement was made available to newsmen on Monday. The former governor extolled the virtues of the late Olubadan. He said Kabiyesi Olakuleyin lived an impactful life and gave a good account of himself. And there were other things that have been said during the meeting, but see details in the Daily Post newspaper this morning. I will not delay filling of vacant positions, Olubadan designate, Ladoja says. Others rally for united global action on food security. Comes with this radar, it says Guterres global hunger worsening. Now let's see what it means. It says Nigeria and other African nations have called for urgent global cooperation to tackle food insecurity and climate-related or related agricultural challenges. The continent's leaders spoke in unison yesterday as world leaders gathered for the opening of the United Nations Food System Summit Stocktake UNFSS 4+ in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Addressing the high-level session, Vice President Kashim Shettima announced that Nigeria is deploying modern technologies including artificial intelligence, AI, geospatial analytics, and satellite-driven climate intelligence to scale up agricultural productivity and end hunger across the nation. In a statement in Abuja by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkocha. Vice President said, and I quote, "We are deploying these tools to monitor production, enhance transparency, connect producers to marketers, and reduce waste across the value chain." End of quote. It stressed that food insecurity is no longer a distant concern but a shared global challenge. See details of this development in the Nation newspaper this morning. Nigeria orders rally for united global action on food security. 07047007701 or 07072766278. And if you're watching from outside, plus 2347047007702. Those are the lines to call this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, my presenter.
Good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
This is Pastor Azan.
From?
Pastor Azan from Oyek.
Please go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, I just want to talk on the issue of verify. This is one of those things that whenever you want to take a test, you look before you look. At least you will have studied before you started to take any action. What has happened now, look at him now, being embarrassed and a lot of unexpected words being used against him for moving up and down like that. But I'm just expecting that at least he should have been a stable person and give us the right thing that we're able to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution there. 070-700 or 4700-7701 0707276628. Those are the lines to call. You can still make your calls and contribution in. And I'll be glad to take them as we begin to wind down on the show this morning. All right, let me read this story. All right. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, my guy, good morning. Travel-wise, so I just come back from the travel.
Your name and where you calling us from, please?
Golden Prince MC. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
So may Almighty God be with us. I believe if we do good, people will remember us. The purpose of coalition political in Nigeria are to join with this present administration to move Nigeria forward.
All right.
And the Yoruba people, they need to support their people. Tí èèyàn bá wà nípò, ẹ jẹ́ kí a sọ fún àwọn èèyàn tiwa, gbogbo títí wa tó bàjẹ́ kan bá fi ṣe oníbejì pẹ̀lú railway line, ó wà nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì náà bíi títí dé Àbújá. Ọ̀nà wa yóò wà òkè. Tó mo kí gómìnà wa Abíọ́dún Àbáyọ̀mí.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And that's how much we can take on the show this morning. It returns again tomorrow with another beautiful edition. Until then,